All right, we're having a side chat here with my guests of the day, but we're getting into it in a bit. More discussions are happening live on air, so you've not missed out on anything. But welcome back to Biashara Tuesday if you've been a member, and welcome if you are joining us for the first time. Please leave a comment on all the social platforms that you're on X, or if you're still calling it Twitter, well, leave us a comment on Twitter, and then also on Instagram at KUTV Kenya, at Richard_Okenya. We have the papers. Let me go through the headlines real quick, and then I get the gentleman to comment on the headlines, and then we get to the finer details of what is inside these papers this morning. They're very light, which means yesterday not much happened within the Republic. Very little news. So let's see. The Daily Nation, Kenya's most sought after high schools. From one selection, some top performers missed out on preferred schools, but here we have a list of the top 10 most selected schools within the Republic. And in terms of the Form 1 transition, 100% transition, some 1.4 million 2023 Standard 8 candidates have been placed in public secondary schools all over the country. It is 99.something% with the information I have. The few who haven't been selected didn't also select the secondary schools they wanted to be placed in, so it is technically 100% transition according to CS of Education, that is Ezekiel Machogu. Kenya's most sought after high schools, and it might not be a shocker to you, but it's a shocker to me that the top school there is not Alliance High School, it is Kabianga High School. The second top school there is not Mangu High School, it's Nanyuki High School. The third school there is not Starehe, it's Pangani Girls. The next school is Kapsabet Boys. So it seems there's a shift in terms of the top selected schools in the country, and I love my panelists, of course, to weigh in a bit later on why this kind of change and what they feel is happening within the national schools in the Republic. That is the Daily Nation. The Standard, scramble for Kenya's dream high schools. Data on Form 1 selection, so here shows Kabianga, Nanyuki, and Pangani Girls are the most preferred secondary schools, but with limited space in best schools. Most candidates have their dreams shattered. As you've seen there, some top performers missed out on the preferred schools. The Business Daily, Mastermind lays off 1,000 after bank takeover. The firm, which is owned by estate of late tycoon Wilfred Murungi, has laid off 1,000 employees 4 days after the administration of that firm was taken over by I&M Bank over an undisclosed debt. So after a very heated session with the KRA now and a takeover from I&M, 1,000 employees have been laid off just before the festive season. What does this mean for the economic situation of the Republic if the biggest cigarette manufacturer here, that is Mastermind Tobacco, has issued a notice of termination of contracts of about 1,000 employees? That's a huge number. Welcome, gentlemen. Good morning to Nick Mwadime Mwangi, and good morning to Dennis Kimani. How are you feeling?
Good morning, Richard.
Yes.
My people in Resambu are feeling very well.
Nice.
And let me say good morning to Ben Wafula.
Okay.
Jacqueline Karambu, and also my bosses in Mkusa. My members there are very excited to see me this morning.
Always excited to have you here as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Morning, Richard.
Good morning, bro.
I say I'm always pleasured to be at KUTV. I say they are always green morning.
All right.
I say to everyone, Merry Christmas as we close the year.
Okay. COP28 happened, by the way. Let's get your quick reactions, Deno, because you're operating in that space on a day-to-day. It's a green morning, it's a green day. What are your quick reactions from COP28?
Thank you again, Richard. Thank you for the opportunity to be here this morning. I think COP28 is something that should not be happening in UAE. I think it's like trying to wash a dog or something, because the first day of the event we had the president of the COP28 saying fossil fuel is becoming it's like a stumbling block already that he put in it. We are not going to end fossil fuel any soon. Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying it's like washing a dog. On the first day it's clean, the second day it will be the efforts of day one, nothing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What do you think should happen in COP29? Just real quick before we get into the papers.
I think my comments will be on the papers, because on this is the standard. We are seeing on energy. There is a plan on the hydrogen.
Okay.
This is conservation, the financial standard.
Okay.
They are saying we could be there a gold rush for buried hydrogen.
Okay.
As we go to COP29, we are saying that we need actionable moves and tactics. Hydrogen is something, is a resource that does not pollute the environment, does not produce the CO2. A lot of hydrogen energy is being lost because we have no finances, and it is time that we go the way of clean and green energy. And therefore, in the silence of the COP28, not everything is bad about it. There's still something that will come out of it. But what we are saying is that let the finances come to the ground. Let us adopt new measures.
Okay.
The hydrogen way.
All right, Nick.
Yes.
Let's get your quick remark here also on the headlines. As if you were to grade the editor today, the Standard and the Daily Nation also both of them are just taking a look at the selection for high school. So I think in terms of topic, they have the same topic.
Yeah,
what do you have to say in terms of phrasing?
Well, I want to agree with my good brother Dennis.
Yeah.
First of all, before we get to today's headline.
Okay.
Our president really took a vacation to COP28, and he used a lot of taxpayers' money, and just to visit UAE. There's nothing substantial that he came back with into the country. We still are lacking job opportunities. The issue of climate is still not a conversation that we can have today. And the issue of green energy. And because Richard, me and you went to school, and I remember back in the day, I did chemical and petroleum engineering. One of the major topics that we're still having today is the cost of fuel. Right?
Yeah.
And probably we'll discuss that later on. But generally, it was just a waste of taxpayers' money.
Okay.
Yes. Kenya sought after high school. We see something very interesting here today. Kabianga, Nanyuki, Pangani, Kapsabet, among many other schools. But something interesting I'm catching today is the Ministry of Education has decided to slowly devolve education into county. Because if you go to Kabianga High School, it is in let me start with Nanyuki because it's top of my head.
Okay.
Nanyuki High School is in Laikipia.
Okay.
And Pangani is in Nairobi. Kabianga
is in the Rift Valley region.
Yes. If not, okay, Kapsabet Boys is in Nandi.
Okay.
Kabianga, if it's not in Baringo, it is in Kericho.
Okay.
And we see Kabianga, okay, last year having a mean point of 9.2. So the Ministry of Education is really trying to slowly empower high schools in different regions of the country.
Yeah. Some of the top performers as well who missed out on the national schools were put into extra county schools.
Yes.
This is to ensure also, maybe some few top learners are also spread out within the counties, as you've said. Deno, the headlines, what do you have to say about the Standard or the Daily Nation?
For me, about the education is still that I still have some bone to pick with the government because these results were not verifiable.
Yeah.
We already know everyone that there were mistakes with the marking. Some kids also missed their exams, their results. Yesterday I was seeing even the KCAC was full of fraud because some students are also getting marks for courses that they never took. You see, so I think just like IEBC, independent institutions in Kenya have gotten the fever of unverifiable results. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a problem.
Okay, so for you, I think the headline should have been, despite the challenges, Kenya's most sought after. These are Kenya's most sought after high schools.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really hoping the 1.4 million candidates really get to high school because it's very serious. And Richard, I want you to imagine a primary school in your village, right? This is a child, this is a girl, this is a boy who has hope to go into high school. And probably he may not get to maybe Alliance or Kabianga. right? We need also to ensure that high schools at our village levels are equipped with teachers, desks, books, and even food. And this whole issue is not being addressed by Ezekiel Machogu.
Yeah.
That students are going to school, and I recently saw one of the teachers called me today from Kiambu County. He says that Machogu says that beginning next year, teachers will be paying for lunch and breakfast in high school. So we are yet to see what are the measures that he's going to use on such.
You might likely to go to the back to the time where unaambiwa kuja na mahindi after lunch.
Yes, and then finally we need to see where the union nut is, because it's been really silent. Teachers are having a hard time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that a teacher who has been let me say he has been, for lack of a better word, exported to Mandera, is supposed to teach there. What are the security issues? Students from Mandera, how are they going to get the same resources as students from Kabianga High School?
So you're saying we should not just celebrate 100% transition, but also take a look at some of the other issues that affect,
across the education sector, especially matters of security, matters of food in different counties.
1.4 million learners is a lot, and I think those are relevant conversations that Machogu should be having.
Yeah, I'm yet to hear. Have you heard of a high school in Turkana County?
Lodo High School.
And apart from how famous is it?
Mostly because it's the center town.
Yes, and how accessible is it?
Good questions.
Yeah.
Good questions.
So those are the things that we need to ask the CS Machogu.
Yeah.
That we are talking about high school today, celebrating the 1.4 million students. But where are these high schools?
Yeah. Deno?
In Mandela, you have asked about Turkana. Maybe there's a tree school. They are going under a tree.
We are laughing, but it could be true. Could be true. It is true. There are a couple of students who are learning under a tree.
It's a sad situation, and we don't see the CS addressing such issues. We are here celebrating that is going to take 1.4 million students or candidates to high school. But where are these high schools?
Just to add up on that, I had on the previous interview with the president, I heard him say that they have employed those teachers that came from the private schools. You see, now we are killing the private, where people are getting quality education at a very affordable prices. We have come up with the CBC, but you see, we are still, the problem with Kenya is that we are overtaxing and overburdening our parents. Now teachers are there to do very little for the students, and parents have to do a lot of things for their children, because now you see your child is coming in the evening asking you, buy me a chicken, I have to cook, and tomorrow I have to take to school. You see, that's a lot of expenditure. Going forward, I ask the government, like, we need a subsidy on the education system. As much as they don't want to give anything a subsidy, including the food prices, please let us, because the only thing that can unlock poverty, it is education.
Right.
Anything that can take Kenyans away from easy mashida nyingi, it is education. Because we don't go to school to get employed. We just go to school to open up our brains.
All right. Ezekiel Machogu, CS for Education, there also warned high school principals not to increase fee when these learners are joining school by 15th of January 2024. This is the last KCPE class, guys, as they transition fully to the CBC curriculum that is going to be applied across. There are still a couple of systemic issues, like the training of teachers for the CBC curriculum, JSS schools being equipped, and some of these teachers have not yet fully transitioned to that system. So we are lacking enough of instructors for the JSS, that is the junior secondary schools. Facilities, resources. So there's a lot of problems. Even as we celebrate, CS Machogu was saying that this is the first time in history that we're having 100% full transition from KCPE to high school. We should not just celebrate numbers, but I think also important to look at some of those issues Nick has pointed out.
When we come back here next year, Richard, there's a bill in Parliament about uniformless in high schools and in primary. We probably might have time to discuss that. What are where the cartels of uniform going to go?
True. Kenya's most sought after high schools, because that's the headline. So let me read the top 10 most selected schools from last year's KCPE class. Number 1 is Kabianga High School. I'm being informed it's in Kericho.
Kericho, yes, just confirmed it is in Kericho County.
Okay,
yes,
Kabianga High School
good.
in Kericho, 186,000 selected. It has a capacity of 672. Nanyuki High School, second most selected, Pangani Girls, and then Kapsabet Boys, followed by Alliance Girls High School, and then Maseno School, Nakuru High School, Butere High School, Mangu High School, Alliance High School. There's something interesting with this list. A few years back, if you flipped this list upside down, that's how the selection used to be like, right? So you used to have Alliance High School at the top, and then Mangu High School right there next, then Alliance Girls, and then maybe a mixture of the rest. Because I am biased and I'm from one of these schools.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that. I'm trying to be biased.
I'm worried because my high school is not here.
That's why he's trying to like, all the statement is Alliance.
Yes,
Alliance.
we have to talk about it, man. You know, my people are watching.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You went to Kapsabet?
No, he was in Alliance.
No. He said the famous.
I was
cliche
your
phrase.
neighbor there. I was in Dagoretti High School.
Okay.
So, and as long as you're not in the list,
Yeah.
but I'm here.
Dago is a big school, man.
Yes,
Dago is a
yes.
big school.
Yeah.
They know where to go to school.
You have already forgotten. I went to the barracks.
What barracks? Oh,
Toilet
yeah. I remember
Yeah.
us making fun of that
Yeah.
some time back. So, why do you think this list is flipped? Please, just do me a favor. And help me talk
Well,
about
No,
this.
today I'm going to bash you because you guys, you are doing an exam that you already saw it. Is it
Allegedly.
Yeah. But for this time, I think it's good for the devolution of education because we have to consider every person. Even with the current education system, we are seeing that you don't have to be the top performer to go to the best university. You have to like have some other criteria so that you can have even the government funding. So I think the education system has really changed, and it's time everyone move with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
How I'm looking at it, Richard,
Okay.
is if we get more high school graduates in different counties, then the next step that county governments in cooperative of the national government, we should be able or should be in a position to say that each county has a number of universities.
Right.
So we can equally not struggle for Kenyatta University, which is in Kiambu County, or JKUAT, which is in
Still Kiambu County?
Kiambu County, or Technical University, which is in Nairobi County. So those are some of the proposals that my party leader, President Uhuru Kenyatta, started when he was president. And we are seeing that the government is trying slowly to go into that direction.
Okay.
However, I'm really concerned because there are really counties that are, again, I repeat and emphasize, are really lagging behind. And it's a matter of conversation whereby a Ministry of Education should have a conversation with county governors at that level. They should ensure and be able to be equipped that by this let's say by this level that we have 672 students from Kericho. How again do we make sure we minimize on the issue of biasness? Are we going to take only the 672 students from Kericho County?
Okay.
Or someone is going to come from Mombasa? So such kind of dynamics or demography should also be discussed by this ministry.
Great.
Yeah.
Superb. Now, that is what is happening. Read for yourself on page 6 and 7 of the Daily Nation on the Form 1 selection and what the top performers have to say. Just one very last bit. There were issues as well with the exam results in KCPE. Do you think, since the government has glossed over that issue and gone on with Form 1 selection after Dansan Omari filed a case at the High Court, is that going to be the same case? Can we expect the same with KCSE? So to be prepared, no one is going to take a look at the issues that arise from the results.
Well, I will really try and, again, I said it here, in mature democracies, cabinet secretary will have resigned by then. But we have a situation whereby Ezekiel Machogo is still adamant to stay in that role.
Yeah.
However, I know he will try and avoid that embarrassment again because that is really shambolic and very embarrassing.
Hopefully he does. I don't have so much trust on these people.
Yes, the loss of public faith, because I said it earlier, he needs to offer a public apology.
Yeah.
And so far,
none has been issued.
None has been issued. Yes.
That's the biggest problem with the Kenyans. I think we put leaders there because of political goodwill.
Mm.
You know, when we go for Machogu, and I'm very happy Nick here today, he has acknowledged Uhuru Kenyatta is his party leader. He's my party leader.
Nice.
To put it into context is that Machogu did a very bad thing, because bringing on board unverifiable results is the worst thing you can do to a child. Imagine, even as we sit here in Kenyatta University, some students have not gotten their results. They don't know which school they are going to. So I think it is time we mature up, as Nick is saying. If you do a mistake, that you should step down for you to be even vetted by the parliament and seen what is your credibility in this. And it is high time the parliament works and walks their talk.
All right. Hopefully the parliament does that. The weakest link, as we've always been talking about here, the weakest link of
has been our weakest link
of our
because it is in
republic at the
bed with
moment.
the executive.
Yes.
Right. Moving on now here swiftly. At the standard, just to take a look at the bottom there, hustle, the big Africa fight for European jobs. Europe is facing a serious shortage of manpower, while Africa is teeming with young, ambitious workers with no employment opportunities. While common sense dictates Europe allows access to these jobs, many hurdles are placed on immigrants. So here is a situation, guys, that I want us to take a look at from both ends. There's an opportunity for us to export workers and young people to Europe because of the kind of population that we have, and in comparison with the aging population that is over on that side. The president has been pushing for this, for us to go look for job opportunities out there. How do we balance between taking a look at this as losing the workforce to another market, and also reaping the benefits of remittances? How do we balance this? We've been pointing fingers at the president. Unatuuza wewe, unatuuza huko nje. But here we're being told there are a couple of opportunities. So let's begin there. How do we balance that out?
So recently we've seen the deputy president telling Kenyans that he does not need them here. He needs to go, or Kenyans need to travel abroad. All he needs are the money that we send back home. That's a very dangerous statement, first of all, because our land is Kenya, and we sing the national anthem each and every morning when we raise a flag at police post. Secondly, we are talking about jobs opportunity, yet we still have struggles of getting passports. We have had this issue of passport from February. We saw a huge, let me say, drama when the CS of Interior, Kindiki, went there, did a show. We're still struggling with getting those passports. So how on earth are we going to get those jobs if we're not going to get passports?
And we're offering visa-free access to others. Yes.
How on earth? How on earth? Then finally, because it's a tough balance. The reason why most Kenyans want to travel abroad. We went to the university. I did engineering myself, right? But what is the employment rate, for example, for engineers? Right? Today, my alma mater, Technical University, is doing a graduation today. And let me say congratulations to our Deputy Secretary General, Lidon Mudharimi, who's graduating with chemical engineering. And we are having that challenge whereby we have more graduates and very, very little employment. Because if I have done engineering and there's still no jobs, or the jobs, for example, if someone has done civil engineering, are taken by the Chinese, the issues of construction. So where are we going to have those conversations? We have so many young people who want to travel and run away from this country because of simplest lack of job.
They know. Lack of jobs, lack of passports. So you're in a situation where you are a qualified engineer graduating from TUK as the member there at Kusa who's graduating from TUK with chemical engineering. And just a side note, I realize this panel is constituted of people who went to engineering schools. So that's quite interesting. But you have qualified engineers, they can't get jobs within the country, but they can't also leave, because there are no passports to leave. How do we address that kind of conundrum?
That is our country now. We speak this, but we mean the other. You know, visas are, Kenya's visa has gone high, but we want free visas for those who are coming in. You see the contradiction? But today, as the lead culture and natural heritage of City Park, today I will be going after this show to maintain and landscape the grave of the first governor of Kenya. We are trying to unlock the Commonwealth in the Commonwealth. This is about the European Union.
Right.
But my problem is, we don't want this puppetism. We are trying to Africa, we have not made our own country. Where are we going to make the other country? You see, it is time we stay in Africa and build Africa. This war that we are in COP28, the BRICS, these people are people who are not putting Africa in the same table. The last time we saw our President William Ruto at the European Union Parliament, he was siding with Africans, but immediately he stopped talking. They voted against the Africans. You see,
Give him a standing ovation.
a standing ovation. You see, he was given a standing ovation, but immediately they voted against what he was telling them. You see, as much as we are running and happy about the European Union, it is time to think about ourselves. Like now we are talking about Congo. Congo is fighting with Rwanda. But you see, the middle of that war is not even the Africanism in them. It is the white and the Westernism that they are bringing war in between our countries. It is time we come back to Africanism. I think that is my point on that.
All right. So come back to Africanism, but there's also labor issues, especially in the north, for people who are illegal immigrants. You can see a very dire situation here, a picture painted on page 2 of the Standard, where it seems like they are in a slave ship.
Yes.
Of course, because of those barriers, as you said, if it becomes so serious with passports in Kenya, people will tafuta panya roots hapa na pale, chomoke, and then we deal with death ahead. So I think there's also need for legal frameworks between the side of Kenya and whichever agreement we are having, whether it's Europe, whether it's Saudi Arabia, whether it's Qatar, because as much as we're sending our people out there, it's important that we do it in the most safe and secure and with frameworks that ensure that they are coming back to us alive.
We don't want an issue of, is it Sharon, who was saved from, is it Dubai?
Yes.
She had gone for so many days with starvation.
Yeah.
We don't want such issues. We want issues whereby if we have so many Kenyans traveling abroad to work, because I understand the desperation in our families. People are trying to make ends meet, right? People are trying to have food on the table.
And I think for the first time, this conversation about living Kenya is getting to even the grassroots.
Yes.
I hear it even with the most remote places. Even in the most remote places, people just want to leave Kenya.
And sadly enough, because our economy is doing bad, and the president is trying to salvage the situation by a lot of PR, but it's not working. Right? People are having really difficulties on the ground. He promised the Mama Mboga, the vijana wa boda boda, the youths jobs opportunity. But those jobs opportunity went with Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Wetangula, and CS Murkomen. Yes.
But you see, the thing is that the hustler narrative was not understood. People thought that the hustler was us, but the hustler was those people at the top, because these are the people who are getting the monies. Now you can see they are talking about 66 billion money for electricity blackouts. But you see, repairs, how much does a repair go for?
We are engineers, we know.
We know.
That's why they need engineers in these positions.
And you see, Richard, it's a very sad situation, because clearly the president cannot account on the issue of blackout, right? He keeps blaming my party leader, right? I said it here in this panel that even if today a mother cannot give birth at Kenyatta Hospital, President Ruto will still come out and say President Uhuru failed to do his job.
And that is my biggest problem. You know why? Because President William Ruto was serving in that, was the deputy president of that government. And I remember there's a time that people were saying that he was trying to overthrow Uhuru Kenyatta. Why? Because he was using the official residence for the DP in Karen for parallel meetings that are against the government. Uhuru Kenyatta is in State House. He has his people at Karen fighting fuel prices. When he took power, these are things that he knew, were first-hand information. So at least he could have done something, and now we could be seeing the prices down, because he was not a person from nowhere. He was inside that government.
Yes.
Utakula sword if you continue like that. Because President William Ruto alisema the sword that he was given isn't just to kata mboga.
Si
kukata mboga tu.
Are you sure it's there?
Yes.
Are you sure it's there? Are you sure the sword is still there?
Yes. I don't know, because here LSK told him that, you know, these are not words a president should be using.
Yeah, and those are very serious allegations that he's trying to make. And I was really concerned, because over the years we have seen president raising the constitution. It meaning that they will defend and protect the constitution. And by protecting the constitution, it means you're protecting the people. But the president was very deliberate when he lifted the sword, right? Because if he truly wants to deal with corruption, we have had an issue of Uasin Gishu about education saga. Where is Mandago right now? He's not serious. Mandago is in his body. We've had the issues of Kimorera and Aror.
He's free now.
He's free now. The CS Henry Rotich has been acquitted. And we know.
That's where the sword should start. We know
this drama. That he says that the issue in Mumias, that there's a huge cartel. Which is the cartel that we don't know?
A cartel in William Ruto's government is someone who is not supporting him.
Yes.
So he qualified to be a cartel.
Right. The president also was on Sunday in an interview with journalists. I want to hear your quick remarks first on some of the contentious issues. I had earlier started the show with the Mukuru kwa Njenga one, where, you know, he said...
It has been called Europe. Don't call it Mukuru.
So affordable
it's Europe.
Europe kwa Njenga. So Europe kwa Njenga, where affordable housing is happening, is facelifting that place. So just give him time, right? And that is the message that him and his government has been on about. About the Kimorer, which I don't know if it is Deno who brought it up. President William Ruto said they will have spent so much money in court. So let's just avoid that issue and move on to another one.
So when you're
a buddy,
you're a buddy, you don't have to go to court. You see,
you spend a lot of money in
40 billion.
Right?
And this guy is so good.
And you see, he said it in a press conference one day that it's just 7 billion. This is taxpayers' money.
Just 7.
And it's a sad situation that the president was caught off guard. And I like what some Gituku did, because he was really deliberate to trap the president, because the president said in a month he spent 60 billion. Some Gituku did the math. So you want to tell us that in a year you're doing 720 billion. The president all of a sudden became a stammerer.
They know. Do you think he didn't
and
have
when you want to know the president is mad, the Calais dialect in him starts coming out. Even when he was asked what will happen with the parliament, he said, you want me to force parliament to do what they know what they're supposed to do. But remember, during the finance bill, what did he say? I am going to monitor those who will not pass the bill.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
he gave an ultimatum.
So there was a lot of double speak here on this day. Another part of double speak, which I will like to note out, because on this panel we've constantly hammered against a couple of CSs, saying that they are non-performing. The president also did say some time back that kuna wale hawajui even their mandate what is. But he's dismissed it. He said that some of these opinion polls, these are people who are paid to push a narrative. Akasema some of these blackouts, you're blaming the CS. CS ana socket kwake mali na nazima stima akiwasha.
So sasa mvua we are having rains, the dams are full. What blackouts zinatoka wapi?
Right. Anti-graft, ailing economy dominate Ruto talk with the media. So that's a reaction we're having on that roundtable interview with the media at State House Nairobi on Sunday between President William Ruto and a couple of journalists. You can find it on page 5 of the Standard. That's where the priority is at. Imambo LSK, gloss over here. On page 8 is where LSK is there. They came out with a press statement.
By President Eric Theory.
Right, after President William Ruto gave those sword remarks. Apart from saying, which is a statement I'm getting tired of hearing from whether it's independent organizations, whether it's NGOs, whether it's government bodies, whether it's officials. This statement, and I'm hoping that Nick, once you eventually get into the position of Member of Parliament in Kasarani, usikuje utuambie Roysambu, sorry, watu wa Roysambu mtanisamehea. Roysambu, usikuje ukatuambia we heavily condemn. Unatuambia Monday, we heavily condemn the activities. Next week on Monday, the same thing. On Thursday, the same thing. LSK gave its strongest condemnation against the president's words. What is that? What is that? What is the result? What is the impact we're going to realize from that?
But
for this condemning?
You see, Richard, LSK is just doing its mandate.
What is the mandate?
They have filed a court case currently on those uttered statement of the president. The president has to live by the constitution. We've recently seen that the High Court threw away the unconstitutional issue of house levy. The president is really adamant, saying that he will still continue. He's talking about getting employment on the issue of housing, right? But at what cost? You are paying me 20,000, right? Half my salary is on tax. So am I doing employment or am I doing labor, child labor?
A part of the petitioners for the housing levy, I think it's LSK. So probably as the aggrieved party, they've come out with a statement, but I'm hoping that the courts are not also influenced by the sword.
And you see, what the president is trying to do is trying to intimidate the court. And I said it here, the court is the third arm of the government. The executive is not supreme than the court.
Sure.
It's not at all. And the president has to live by the standard. And when he was the deputy president, because he still acted as the
official opposition leader?
Yes, I wanted to say official opposition leader.
Unofficial opposition leader.
The unfunny statement. He went on about telling President Uhuru that he should respect the court. Let me remind him as well of his statement. He needs to respect the court.
Right.
And he does not need to belittle the court, because the court can only be the hope of the citizens of Kenya.
Right.
On my statement there, LSK on the housing levy, I think what I can say is that the president and the Kenya Kwanza government are planning before us, because they know the final place is the judiciary. And so, like for the finance bill and the housing levy, they knew that if they do anything, it passes in the parliament, the last option is the judiciary. And before the judiciary makes its statement, they can still go on with, because even when he was with the other day on live TV, he was asked how much money the housing levy has come. You remember?
Right. He could not account for it.
He could not account for it because he was saying almost 900 million. He saw that was a very big figure. Now was trying to bring it down because already he is winning on that, even for the cast and constitutionally.
So you're saying it's this fight at the courts will not yield any positive results for Kenyans?
They will not. Until they be independent the way they're supposed to be. That marriage between the executive and the judiciary, it's time it stops.
Okay.
And I know the sad bit is Richard, because when President William Ruto was a de facto opposition leader, he used to think that working the government was very easy. And he's in a situation whereby he's on top. And I know we hear men say that the worst thing that a man can do is be on top and fail to perform.
Whoa, quotes are flying here on Biashara Tuesday, and I'm just going to quote one more person, who is Laban Shaban, within the KUTV newsroom. Aliniambia last week a very interesting statement, which is wanasema mgala muue na haki umpe. Si mgala umpatie haki alafu muue. So, kwa sababu tushaua huyu mgala ambaye ni President William Ruto, wacha tumpatie haki. On page 4 of the Standard is where President William Ruto upstaged our neighbors in the EAC, Tanzania, Uganda, wote, and signed a new inked a new deal with a European bloc in terms of trade. 545 billion, the value of trade in 2022 between Kenya and EU, and we're expecting that in 2023 the figures are different. With this new deal, more export-free,
Yes.
duty-free, and also importation with tariffs being reduced by European players.
Our second largest trade
Mhm.
partnership we have done this year.
Right.
And yeah.
That is after the US-Kenya
Yes.
trade agreement, right?
So it is a good deal,
Mhm.
Richard.
Mhm.
And we see that most Kenyans export flowers, export among many other things,
Mhm.
agriculture sector
Mhm.
to Europe. But I'm really, really concerned as well because the president really needs to gain the public faith.
Mhm.
Because we are still struggling on the issue about licenses,
Mhm.
taxes, right? If I
Mhm.
want to do a business and there's a good opportunity that I have signed with European Union to export my flowers,
Mhm.
the government has set so many hurdles for the business growth.
Yeah.
So those are some of the balances that he also needs to address
Right.
locally.
Right.
And he might be doing so well
Mhm.
on the business partnership on the paper,
Mhm.
but let us see it also practicality
True.
on the ground.
Right.
Yes.
Some of those other issues include, of course, the European Union is requesting that 80% of the tariffs
Mhm.
be reduced on the imports that we are doing from that other side. And this is going to bring a couple of challenges,
Mhm.
including, affecting local manufacturing.
Mhm.
Given those products, if they are superior and are getting here at a cheaper price,
Mhm.
local manufacturers are definitely hurting, creating unemployment and such issues. And I think President Ruto, as you've said, should address off-the-paper issues,
Yes.
apart from the very glamorous deals that he is making. Dennis.
My take is, where is all this money going to? Because we are getting a lot of money.
You're on the money trail.
Yeah, where is it going? Because now we have sold KCC, we have sold the Kenya Petroleum Corporation. We are still getting loans because even I can see IMF are telling them the next time we are giving Kenyans money, we are not giving you. All Kenyans to make a line, we give them their money. Yeah, you see?
Kila mtu apatie kati yake.
Yeah, but my point, what the point I want to make is that I think it is the Daily Nation. I've just seen Somalia has entered the AU.
EAC, right.
Yeah, so I think Kenya negotiating with the European Union, it's a little bit unfair. I think African Union should be negotiating with the European Union, because those are people at the level. We cannot send a Kenya to like a 20 government, Western government, those are superpowers, to negotiate on our. Obviously,
it's definitely going to be an unfair deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think this deal was supposed to be made by AU, not Kenya.
All right. So you can read a bit more of that as Kenya upstages its neighbors, or Kenya ignores the neighbors to sign the EU deal. It's on page 4 of the Standard.
Actually,
Our
that is what
neighbors
they are
are-
saying.
Our neighbors are just lazy.
They are not lazy. Mna stima na mko kwa giza. Na kizungu.
Tanzania wanangoja kuomba.
Tunaomba nini?
Nick feels like they're lazy, and I think maybe because I'm a Kenyan, I will be biased and say, it's a good deal for us. Why not?
Kenya is the center of East African
It's the
community.
hegemon of Africa as we are going there.
So, like, let me give me a typical example for fuel. Tuko kwa giza kwa nini? Because, like, in that interview, President was trying to teach us on an economics basis a class, because he was telling us how fuel is set, fuel prices is set. Remember, barrels are bought throughout the country and Africa at the same from the producer. What the difference when it comes to Kenya is the taxes that you put.
That's true.
And now, as we talk, EPRA has reduced the petroleum levy, the taxes, till January, for people to enjoy Christmas and then wakurudie. So that is typically Kenyan government is the one overtaxing the people.
Right.
So tuko kwa giza.
I will not defend the Ruto's administration, but I will defend Kenyans.
Okay.
Why we are very hardworking. Because despite all these challenges, Richard, we have as our country, Kenyans are still waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
The three of us woke up very early in the morning to be here.
Right.
Sure.
We are not aggrieved so much with the challenges that this government is having with its people. I'm just wondering today if Tanzania had the same challenges as we're having today, will they rise up and go to work?
We're trying to start a diplomatic spat between us and Tanzania.
Yeah, because at the same time, Richard, let us be very practical. We can make strife with our president, because he's our president. But when Samia Suluhu goes below the belt, we have also to go lower. Because we have not gone there to Tanzania and tell them that they could sing the whole night.
Ni Kiswahili tu na msamiati.
Yes, ni Kiswahili tu na msamiati. That's on a lighter note as well.
Yeah, lighter note, watu wangu wa Dodoma. Lighter note. We're going to the festive season, guys. Yesterday, CS Murkomen was also in the media. The government is really in the media recently.
Yes.
A lot. CS Murkomen was yesterday night speaking about the road carnage situation. This year, we've lost so far, according to tallies from January 1st to December 7th, we've lost 4,000 people on the roads. Most of them, boda riders, 1,000 people are boda riders who are very rogue. And then the rest, of course, highest number being personal drivers, and then followed by matatus. And then the rest of the list follows up there. What do you have to say about the road carnage situation? There's a bit of a back and forth between Kenyans who are pointing to the government saying, some of these roads are not well maintained, are not well constructed, we have blind spots. I remember some time back, prayers used to be the biggest solution we're offering to some of these hotspots. But now I'm hoping we have enough engineers, since we have unemployed graduates in the country, we have enough engineers to fix it. The Kenyans are pointing towards the government, but CS Murkomen yesterday insisted that is the issue of the behavior of Kenyans on the roads. What do you have to say? We are going into the festive season. It's going to be a very serious time because people are drunk driving here and there, driving late. There are drivers who are doing long distance with little or less sleep, little to no sleep.
With this, I want to agree with the CS Murkomen, Kipchumba. We are going into festive season. Sometimes when during festive seasons, Kenyans really get excited, and they want to have some few drinks here and there for the road. And I really want to urge that it is time to drink safely and drive safely.
No, not driving when you're drunk.
Drink safely and drive safely. If you are drunk, please don't drive. That's what I meant.
There's Uber and now there's Faras. At least you can redeem your 200.
Yes.
On the same page 9 of the standard, special unit to be set to probe road accidents. I think that is a good thing, but I think this is something out of the government's hand. It's up to you to take care of yourself. If you don't drink, you can drive. If you drink, call Faras. You can redeem 200 for your trip.
Okay.
However, this does not excuse the government on the unworthy road vehicles and also road maintenance. We have so many unworthy road vehicles that are on our roads that the government is really playing, or the Ministry of Transport is playing a blind eye towards.
True.
So such issues also need to be addressed as well. And then also maintenance of the roads, especially at the deemed dead spots. Let there be a way mechanism. Put bumps at least. Put more sign posts, just to ensure Kenyans are well informed. And probably periodically, I would also want to suggest to this government that Kenyans should go through periodically training of safety. If they could try to do it online, they could try also to do it for seminars, especially to the motor tourists, because those guys sometimes can behave really wrongly, and they spoil the good name of our friends who are really behaved on the road. And especially the boda guys. Here in Nairobi, it's chaotic.
Everywhere. I think boda riders have the same gene. If you go to Kapsabet and you go to Turkana and you go to Ruiru,
it's the same.
It's the same type of
So I will want to put all this consideration on the table, especially during this festive season. I will want to see all of us here, because I might be driving very safely, but I meet a very crazy person on the road.
Also, a caution to, if you're traveling in, I was seeing a report yesterday from a young family who was traveling back home to, I think it was Nyeri. They're coming from a wedding, and then along the way an accident happened. 2 of the family members died. A young boy was left with the mother, and the young boy was giving an interview saying, along the way, the passengers kept telling the driver, unaendesha sana, uko na mbio sana. but he couldn't listen. So I think it's important to also speak out. Yeah, na mkiona sikii, mnamwambia tushukishe. Tushukishe, wewe uendelee mbele. So don't be silent if you're seeing that your driver is being very reckless.
There's a meme that I saw. A driver might be overspeeding, kumbe akona heartbreak.
So mkalishe chini therapy kidogo alafu mwendelee.
Tuendelee na safari.
All right. So stay safe as you go out to the festive seasons. Please don't drink and drive. Call out for an Uber, a cab, a Bolt, Faras. Ita Faras, but koko Kisii, ita Farasi. I mean, I don't think there's enough Ubers over there.
Don't be modest.
That's a low blow. Umesema tunaenda way below the knees. Oh my goodness. All right. Deno.
Yes.
What else do we? What else are we missing out? I know you are very keen on the financial standard. As we try and wrap up, maybe 1-2 stories that you feel are important for us.
Before I go to the Kenyan job market.
The Kenyan job market is talking about is the the fixtures.
We have the ChatGPT tool. I think this is something that it's time Kenyans we talk about it.
Where is that?
The standard, page 5, financial standard.
Okay. All right.
ChatGPT.
Okay.
It's a tool that has helped a lot of people, even those researchers, those crammers, and even the internet bloggers and everything.
Yes.
But I think it's a tool that can really bring havoc to the market and a lot of internet malfunctions, because it is being used by every person, even those who don't. Like now, the internet is down in Kenya.
Yes.
I think that is the news. So I think it is time we use these tools efficiently. Yes.
All right.
Just to add on that.
Let me quickly read what that is. ChatGPT tool could be abused by scammers, hackers. A ChatGPT feature allowing users to easily build their artificial intelligence assistants can be used to create tools for cybercrime. If you've not used ChatGPT, just type out ChatGPT to your Google browser. It's a chatbot platform, or it's a chatbot of its own, and it's AI powered, so it helps you perform your functions like a super assistant. So if you want to come up with a business idea and you want quick tips on what to do, if you want to go into the business of yogurt, you ask ChatGPT real quick, inakutolea your business model. Ukiambia, give me a business plan, it gives you that. If you want to write an essay real quick, if you want to react to the internet and you want a very quick blog, you can do that. If you want to code and you want a few lines of code, you want to create a website, ChatGPT can easily do that for you. And I think here they're highlighting the ability for this to be used by scammers to quickly generate phishing emails or even hacking mails that can be used. This technique, called scamming or phishing, whichever you call it, it's being used by hackers. The BBC here is giving a report on something that they did themselves. They asked the free version of ChatGPT to compose a text in seconds to make it more culturally relevant in India. And it did this with the help of AI. If they can do that for any language, it means any hacker can be able to do that even for wherever you're at. As Deno has said there, it could be used to create internet malfunctions, and it seems to be weighing in on the negative side. I don't know what Nick has to say about that. Have you used ChatGPT, and do you feel like...
I'm currently doing my master's in data science and analytics, Richard. But one thing that probably people don't know about AI tools, that we share a lot of data.
Okay.
Right? So one thing that the tech world is trying to cautiously warn people, please protect your personal data. If you want to, don't get too much excited, because these are the tools those people with ill intentions can use to hack your personal phone, your personal stuff, and because there's no data protection act that is protecting us against ChatGPT 2. So let us cautiously provide relevant data and not provide so much of our personal data while we're using ChatGPT.
Right. We were at a very small session a few weeks ago with DW on digital literacy. And it's important that this information gets to the people.
Yes.
How do you know if you're being, if you're being hacked? You just don't click on any link.
Yes.
You just don't put out your password out there. You don't tell people the names of your pets, your family, your mom. Some of those very key information that you use within the data that you share online.
Be very cautious of and strange numbers sending you photos, because once you open that photo, there's a back-end code that can easily hack your phone.
Yes.
So those are the things that most people should know.
Right. Okay.
Be very, very, again, I repeat, cautious in going to and funny places that people want to go to Google and there are dark places. Those sites, I know you understand.
Go incognito. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
I know you understand such things.
Go incognito. It's actually really good even when you're getting a phishing email or a hacking email. If you open it with incognito, it means all of your data isn't within that browser. So whatever will happen within that private browsing mode. And
also another thing also, I know I understand young people also, including myself, but I don't also participate in it. They go into a lot of betting sites. You realize when you open a betting site, there are a number of tabs that open simultaneously.
Right.
So these sites are usually used to
collecting your data
and also hack your phone.
Okay.
So be very careful on such platforms so that you don't lose your personal data and don't complain so much on the net.
All right. I don't know if Deno wanted to weigh in there.
I think we have the data analyst. So
okay, great. I just wanted to go on a positive note, though. As we are speaking, the negatives that come out of these AI tools, it's important to also look at the positives.
Yes.
As I said, it's a super assistant. So if you want to do a bulk of work that takes you 6 hours, this is going to be useful for you. Find some of these tools, get ahead in the digital space, and you can get to keep up with technology and use it to your advantage. The people who are mostly affected by some of these things like hacking, scamming, are those who don't want to use the tools themselves. Using the tool helps you gain knowledge and also get to know where the loopholes are here and there.
Or if you have money, you can pay for ChatGPT 4. It protects you from all those kinds of scammers and hacking.
Right.
And also people usually don't really take concern into this privacy policy that usually you need to tick. Please read such things.
Yes.
And they are really, really important before you even complain. They are usually caution that has been set there. This and this and this will lead this and this and this.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right, so be careful as you browse the interwebs. As we wrap up, guys, the Business Daily.
I don't know. Let me. I don't know why Nick is coming to this page.
What page is that?
You know, Kioni yesterday said.
Party leader.
Party leader. Secretary General.
I need to add something to do with Jubilee.
Yes, I have to talk about my party, Jubilee, because
let's talk about it as we close up then.
People who are in those people who took the other Jubilee Kanine Kega.
Yes.
So kuna Jubilee na Jubilee asili.
No, there's only one Jubilee. The court made a ruling on it.
Yes.
That's why you don't see.
But there are still two factions.
No, that is allegedly.
Okay.
That's what they were trying to create. But the court made a ruling onto it. And we've recently seen our former chairman, because he took a government job. And the constitution says if you take a government job and you're in a party position, you have to resign. We filed a petition to the office of ORPP to dismiss such members who are greedy. Let me say they are greedy, because we gave them an opportunity to serve the people and the members of Jubilee. And you see, the highest level of a party is NDC. The party belongs to the people. Right. The party does not belong to Kanini Kega.
And I wonder why they have not gone for the NDC yet.
If they are
the Asili,
they are still the Kanini.
If they have guts enough, let them go to let them do an NDC.
Yes.
But I know they will not do it.
Who will be there?
But I know they are really busy working to split the Azimio faction. That's why they started a rumor this week through the ODM party that there are rumors allegedly that Azimio is splitting.
Okay. This is good. This must be good news for President William Ruto, though.
Secretary General is saying, because I've tried all means to
So are you confident that Jubilee and Azimio as a whole is steadfast?
What I can say is that the bombers, the NADCO, that is something that is bringing a lot of split. But you see, everyone has their own views. If the NADCO never brought what we expected, I have the opportunity to say, it is not my mandate, I'm not there. You see, the NADCO give the office of the opposition leader, and that is okay with it. But the cost of living is still down. With Raila Odinga, he's there for his office of the opposition. But with our Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, we are here for cost of living. And if William Ruto was there for the hustlers, at least food will be the lowest thing that everyone can afford. Because all this money that is amassing, where is it going? Let him bring the cost of living, mafuta. Like now he's saying, mahindi imeenda chini. Kwani sisi ni kuku? We cannot kula mahindi alone. We need mafuta.
Actually, there was a story on the subsidy, the debt on maize subsidy. What I saw on Business Daily, page 5. Maize flour subsidy debt hits 3.4 billion. Some of these millers who supplied the maize flour under the state subsidy last year hit 3.4 billion. But as we are still on the, I just want to find one final comment while we are still on Jubilee and Azimio. Nick, how can you say then that Azimio is steadfast given this kind of tribulations?
Well, Richard, I will tell you this: you and your brother sometimes disagree on so many issues. At the same time, your family, right? You don't walk out of that family and say that Azimio is still intact, and we know that the rumor started this week, whereby they are trying to split hairs within Azimio coalition. The party leaders are saying we are still one-on-one. We've recently seen President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga meeting Kiambu leaders, right? We've recently seen Kalonzo Musyoka with Baba Oliver. We've seen Martha Karua the same. We've seen DAP, Eugene Wamala the same. So this is just, let me say, gimmicks from UDA. Because it's not Kenya Kwanza, I've not seen Mudavadi, he has no party as well. And Wetangula is fighting so hard to keep the fort. We've seen UDA working very hard to split Azimio. But this is what I will tell you. The cost of living is high. I want to agree with my Secretary General, Jeremiah Kioni. And the NADCO report also needs to address such issues. And he's saying as a party that the Mamamboga, Vijana Bodaboda are still feeling the pinch of the high cost of living.
They have no Christmas.
Final remark from Nick, alafu ndo nikiingia kwa Deno, pia ya final remark.
Yes. So
a quick one.
Let me say thank you so much, Richard. It's been an amazing year.
It has been.
Thank you so much for the management of KUTV, the producers, the camera guys, you as well. You have given me and Mkusa a noble platform to overly represent this platform. Thank you so much to our viewers in Mkusa, in Roysambu. And let me say my regards to all of them. And finally, I know we are going to sing, Richard.
No, of course, we have to, man.
You have to sing, right? Yes. So let me say a Merry Christmas to the people of Roysambu and to all the members of Mount Kenya Colleges University Association, and passing my regards to my national chairman, Faris Jen, our national treasurer, Eston Maina, and all members of Mkusa. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. Deno, ulikuwa useme comment kuhusu hiyo story ya Jubilee na final remark.
Nataka nimalizie nikisema Uhuru Kenyatta is just a senior citizen, ako 61, as old as Kenya. Moi Kibaki was 84 when he left office. Was an elder, needed rest. People, please, if you have anything to do with Uhuru Kenyatta, he's in politics to stay.
So you're saying he's young?
Yes, he's still young. He has nowhere to go.
Right.
Finally, I want to say that I want to call for the parliament. I am having a very good circular economy for zero waste model. That is, I anticipating that will be the medicine to see the closure of Dandora dam site. It is now 3 years since the Dandora dam site court ruled that it's supposed to be closed. Youth Green Society, we have really worked on it. We have a model that we are calling it a SAS, that is going to integrate all the waste companies into one grid, and they'll be talking on the same. You know, like now, those people who take in Roysambu are not the same company that take in Pangani. They're there, but they need to be integrated into one. That is a story for another day. Finally, I also want to thank Kenyatta University Television, producers, directors, and every person who has always made it possible for us to be here. Merry Christmas, and when we come to the next year, please, let's come with the same vigor to fight for the rights of the common mwananchi. Thank you.
Listen. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. The back of the Business Daily here, Dr. Loretta Scott, American public figure, says, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Think about it. Thank you for joining us on this laughter-filled Biashara Tuesday segment. This is KUTV Rise Today. Ensure that you're tuning in every single Monday and Tuesday, art and culture, and then business conversations here, and a bit of politics as well, such as the roundtable discussion we've had here. Continue being joyous, continue being laughter-filled, so that you are able to laugh all the way to the bank. May your jokes be higher, but may your profits be even way higher. My name is Richard Okenye. On social